Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Not today, in this video, we are going to play with multiple router outlet in a template. What I mean by that is, let's open a new terminal and we are going to create a template layout, template component. So this will serve as the layout or the theme. The Yeah, the theme. Is it the theme? The layout. I think it's the layout. It will be the layout of our, for example, app or a main app. So let's just create it so that we'll understand. This one here. We're gonna put it in shared pages. Um, was it shared or maybe layout? Shared layout, and then call this standalone. Standalone. Right. Generate component standalone. Generate component shared slash layout standalone. So it's gonna create a component, a standalone component for our application. It'll be the layout. And then we're gonna import router module, and then let's import our router module. And in our router module here, we want to create multiple um, devs. And this one here would be the dev for header. This one here will be the dev for navigation, and then this one here will be the dev class, therefore the content, right? And this one here will be the app. So we want to set the CSS on how this will be displayed. Navigation. This one here will be the content. And then we want to set this as display grid. Yeah, man, I forgot how to set up grids. Grid template areas would be uh, header. I think something like that. And then how do we set up this again? Can we do it like that? Navigation. Damn, I forgot already. Header, navigation, then content. And then this one here, the gray area. Man, I forgot how to do this already. Grid, grid area. This one will be called header. Then this grid area here is the navigation. This grid area here would be content. content. This one here, navigation. Oops, navigation, or maybe nav. This one here would be nav. Is it set up like this? Yeah, or we can put something like that. Then here is nav. Then this one here is content. I think we can set up like that. Let's see. So in our app here, we want to remove all of this. And then we want to create a module, ng generate module features, solar system. Then we want to add routing. I'm like a bird. I almost fly away. I know with my home base and I know with my heart base. Right. Then we want to create a um the we want to create the Mercury standalone. Oh yeah. We first want to we first want let's continue this one first. Let's put Venus. This should be in the solar system, but we already created this. Alright. By the way, I'm drinking latte here. And while we are okay, so it's already finished. Let's put Earth here. Okay, so we have this AWS question. You need to grant a user who is outside your AWS account access to an object in an Amazon Simple Storage Service bucket. Which is the best way to provide access? Have the user create a user ID using create a new assign that to user to live or user identity mention and assign the user ID. Okay, next is we want to create a component for the solar system module. And we still want to no, we don't want do we want it to be a standalone? Oh, let's try just let's just so for now this is the router outlet, and this one here we want for the default path we want to load the children of solar system module with a different routing. Right, so this routing has its child and children routing. So this one will load the component. First is Mercury component dot then Mercury component, and then we want to add Venus, Earth. Venus, for Venus we want to set Venus here dot Venus And then here is earth, earth component, earth. So when we serve this, we should see Mercury component. Mercury component works. No. We have to, when this is loaded, yeah, let's see if it will load the Mercury, because usually this one here will have a component that will be the component of this module. But let's just see. I think it's okay. Local localhost 4000. Yeah, Mercury is working here. Mercury is working. And now we want to add a component here, and that component will be our layout. So layout component, and let's see if it was added. In our layout component, we will want to put a router outlet here. See if it appears. Okay, so the Mercury, so it has a router outlet here. How about we add more router outlet like this? So Mercury component. Okay, so we have multiple, and then if we set it to Venus, oops, set the URL to Venus, everything will be Venus. Okay, now we want to um, we don't want to load the Venus works here, so we want to load a Venus navigation. So instead of um, first, yeah, how do we do that? Let's put it in our, maybe here in Venus, or maybe yeah, let's just create it from us inside Venus component, create a component, features, Venus, nav, Venus nav, or yeah, Venus nav, maybe stand alone. Okay, so Venus nav, where is it now? Venus, and then there is a Venus nav. Okay, so how do we load this in our here? Uh, uh, uh. So there, okay, so that when it's loaded, this one here, when this is loaded, Venus component. Can we set? How do we set um the router outlet to use? Alright, so here we want to name this as content outlet, and then in our this one here in our routing setup, where is our routing here? For Venus, we want to use the outlet content. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Mercury, and it's nothing here. say Venus, nothing. So we got this. Cannot match any routes URL. Venus. Why? Is it because of this? Content. What did we put here? Outlet. Yeah, it's content. And I wonder if I ever. Why isn't it not working? I just named it and it's not working anymore. How about we put content X? No? How about in our here in Mercury we want to add outlet content content X. Alright, so it only appears in content X. Now how can we add something for the outlet? Yeah, we want to maybe the Venus nav component, the Venus nav component. Alright, so this one here would be nav x, and in our component here we want to name this nav x. Is it working? Yeah, it's working. Um, so we want to remove this here. This one should be Venus, right? So that Mercury is like that, and if you go to Venus, then yeah, let's see Venus. Venus component, Venus nav. This one here, the outlet would still be outlet is content X. CNTX, CNTX, CNTX. Dun, 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 dun. Cannot match any URL Venus. Really? How about Earth? Earth works, but why is Venus not working? What if we remove this path load component Venus, Venus, Venus X? Why? Why is it not working? Load component, if it's empty, let's go so this one here and then Venus. So Venus is not working. Venus. For me, it happens all the time. It's a quarter after one. I'm a little drunk and I need you now. Ooh, little wasn't called Venus. So if the route is Venus, they want to have the outlet as XXX. URL segment Venus cannot match any routes here in Venus. No match found. Are you sure? Outlet load component. Venus. Damn. Man, it's supposed to work. Why isn't this not working? It's a quarter after one. I'm a little drunk and I need you now. They said I wasn't calm. I'm a little drunk and I need you now. And I don't feel I can't do without. I just need you now. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe like that, or maybe like that, and then like that. Yeah, it should be like just like that. For me, it happens all the time. It's a flutter after one. I'm a little drunk and I need you now. And said it wasn't gone. I'm a little drunk and I need you now. And I don't feel I can do without. Content. Yeah. For this one, we want to outlet this one again, XXX. So see if it works, XXX. This one here, we want to have this just a name, then XXX here, so working. And then here we want to name this as nav outlet. This one here is content outlet. And then our content outlet, so that content outlet. For the nav outlet, this one here. Okay. We want to go to Earth. Earth, does it have a problem? Does it have a problem? No, it doesn't have a problem. How about Venus? Venus has a problem. Cannot match any routes. Your segment Venus. No match. No match your face. Why is it no match? We have a Venus here. Path Venus. So how about changing this? Putting Earth in the middle. Okay, so let's try Venus. Yep, still has problem. How about Earth? No problem for Earth. Why is that so? How about we add a content path here for Earth as well. So Earth, yeah. So how about instead of using load component, we just use the component Earth component, and then here we'll just use the um, component is Venus component. And alright, so let's go to Venus. Yeah, it still has issues. How about Earth? Earth. Yeah, why? I know a man who had nothing. She was a poor man all his life. She lived and sat by the roadside. 11 kids and a loving wife. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. She goes to church every Sunday. It is one morning. Man, sir, operator of subscriber. Damn. Said I wasn't called. I'm a little drunk and I need you now. And I don't feel like I can do without. I just need you now. It's a quarter after one. I'm a little drunk and I need you now. Ah, said I wasn't called. I'm a little drunk and I need you now. So why is it not working? So if we remove that and then like that, so thus the XXX has problem now. And this one here, Venus, is okay. Yeah. So what else did we miss? Usually, when this is loaded, it goes to the this module here. Why? Why is the path here? Maybe because we specify the children routes. So this one here is a route, load children. Yeah, I think there's no issue here. It's just that if we remove this outlet here, it will now work without any issues at all. So let's put Venus, let's put Earth, right? And here in our layout, yeah, if we remove this, right? Ah. So let's see. ng generating component nav mer mnav stand alone. But took back my head. Ito. Oops. No, 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 no. Should be E. Alright. Right, so this one we want to use the outlet um, X. Here is Z. Same path. Outlet is Z. Right? Earth. Earth. This one here is name is Z. Here name is X. Earth, Mercury. This is Mercury. Now we want to use the um, nav Mercury nav Mercury M. Okay. So if it's Earth, Earth, we want to add the outlet here, and then the other one. Outlet is Z. This one here, outlet is X. This one here is a comma. Earth, Earth, Venus. So, there you go again, the issue. How do we fix that? If I ever cross your mind, maybe it happens on. Okay, so outlet routing routes angular routes outlet property not working. Troubleshooting oh baby, I need you now. Me now I can heal without. I just need you now. Enable tracing. What's that? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Man, yeah, this one here. We just want. Okay, let's read. Okay, auxiliary routes. What are they and when are they useful? First, what are auxiliary routes? These are just plain routes like the primary routes that was mapped to the router outlet component, but instead, route auxiliary routes are mapped to a different outlet which must be named unlike the primary outlet. This is an example of a page with multiple outlets, each corresponding to a subset of routing configuration. But but how can this work? Okay, so yeah, how can that work? Okay, so this will be our main, and this will be our, um, okay, so our main here doesn't have content anymore. Border 2px solid red. Let's add padding 20px. Alright, so this is our main here. It doesn't have any name. Okay, so let's continue. This is an example of a page with multiple outlets, each corresponding to a subset of routing configuration. But how can this work? Because all matching is done using the URL, and there is only one URL, right? Multiple outlets, but only one URL. The key thing to realize about top level auxiliary routes is that effectively each one has its own URL to match to, starting at slash. Auxiliary routes can also be configured now at the top level, but let's focus on that scenario in this point. Imagine that you divide your browser window into multiple mini browser windows, each with its own separate URL. Then you provide separate routing configuration for each of those windows because you would want those windows to be navigated separately. Here are some examples. A practical use cases of auxiliary routes. As you can see, different outlets corresponds to different auxiliary routes. But when would you want to use auxiliary routes and why? It's very common. It's very common for applications to divide the page into multiple regions. The top level menu, the side menu that often is a subsection of the top menu, an A side on the right maybe displaying a playlist of lessons, pop-up dialogues for editing a list detail that you want to keep up upon during navigation, a chat window that stays upon open during navigation. An example of an auxiliary route configuration. Imagine that to the right of our screen, we want to add a playlist of lessons that gets different content when we navigate. It might contain the list of latest lessons or the lessons of a given course. All right. Okay. What we have configured here is that when the path of the A side outlet is set to playlist, we are going to display the component playlist. This routing can be defined independently of the primary route. Let's see how this works. Let's see how does this work. How can the URL be used to display two URLs instead of one? How can the URL two URLs? What does the URL look like for accessing an auxiliary route? The Angular router introduces special syntax to allow to define auxiliary route URLs in the same URL as the primary route URL. Let's say that we want to trigger navigation and shows all lessons in the primary route and playlist on the A side, the right side right A side route. The URL would look like playlist. Can we can see that lessons would like route to holy shit. Huh? Uh okay. It happens all the time. So this is the primary route, and in our this one here, for this one, this should not go to any route, so this will go to the primary route, and this should be this way here. And in our Mercury Z, so for the Z, we displayed. Okay, so we want to know which one is which. So for the navigation, we want to have this as green, and then this one here on top, the header would be orange, red, red. Okay. So for the Mercury, we have mnav. We put it on here, which works, and here, and also for the header. If we want to use this one, can be displayed in the header, yeah. But when we go to Venus, why is it displaying? Oh, where's our Venus? So if it goes to Venus, okay, so Venus outlet Z, we want to add an outlet Z, and we also want to add outlet X. Venus outlet, why is this still M? Venus outlet Z, outlet X. Path is Venus. Venus. Then Venus is not Venus. Yeah, this should be. This is Mercury, and this one is Venus. Yeah, this should be the. This should have that Venus works. So M. But if you go to Venus, and if we go to Earth, Earth has an issue because we have to set the so if without an outlet, it should go to the default. So Earth, okay, Earth, but why is it still mnav? This should have been Earthworks, the three of them. So why? How about like that? Nope. How about Z? About X? Earth X? Nope. Ooh. Goes to Mercury. Earth. Earth. This happens all the time. It's a quarter after one. I'm a little drunk and I need you now. Say a prayer, little one. Don't forget my son. To include everyone. I can win, always win. Make your people sin. Running for you. Ding, ding, ding. Sipping one eye open. Everything is real tight. Exhale light. Enter night. Take my hand. After never, never land. Ding, ding, ding. Dan, 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 ding, 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 ding. Something's wrong, something's right. Everything just turning white. Everything tonight. So I really don't understand. I really don't understand what is the purpose of this thing. Hmm. And I wonder if I ever question my. Alright, so I'm a bit confused now. routing, routing, and named router outlet. Alright. Ding, 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 ding. Du, 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 du. Da, da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. A complete guide to routing in Angular. In this case, let's read together. In case you're still not quite familiar with Angular 7, or introducing Angular 7, introducing router path, prefix, full path, route guard, activate, inactivate, router outlet name. Okay, multiple outlets and auxiliary routes. Angular Router supports multiple outlets in the same application. A component has one associated primary route and can have auxiliary routes. Auxiliary routes enable developers to navigate multiple routes at the same time. To create an auxiliary route, you'll need a named router outlet where the component associated with the auxiliary route will be displayed. Like for example, in this one here, router outlet, and there's one router outlet has a name. The outlet with no name is the primary outlet. All outlets should have a name except for the primary outlet. You can then specify the outlet where you want to render your component using the outlet attribute. Okay, this one here, which is what we're doing here. All right. Man, this is quite confusing. Let it slide over the hill, and I believe in you. So correct. Ding, 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 ding. I don't mind all the time. Just now. Pretty and white, pretty when you're faithful. So pretty and white, pretty when you're faithful. When you're faithful. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it just become so available for you. Do 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 do. Oh, pretty, so pretty and white. Pretty when you're faithful, so pretty and white. Do, do, do. Pretty when you're faithful, so pretty and white. Pretty when you're faithful. So I don't really understand how to use the auxiliary route right now. What am I doing? Auxiliary routes. Angular. Example. When in my head, when it's calmed down. Okay, using auxiliary routes. Angular supports the concept of auxiliary routes, which allow you to set up and navigate multiple independent routes in a single app. Auxiliary routes also allow the user to access or toggle portions of the page such as sidebar or dialog using the URL. Each component has one primary route and zero or more auxiliary routes. Auxiliary outlets must have unique name within a component. To define the auxiliary route, you must first add a name router outlet which where contents of the auxiliary route are to be rendered. Here are an example. Sidebar. Yeah, it's just what I'm doing. Same with what I'm doing here. So next we must define the link to auxiliary route for the application to navigate and render the component. Outlets component. Okay, so maybe that's it. Okay, let's just give it a try. Let's go to Mercury, and if we want to import the router module here, and in our router module sidebar outlets X ZX, yeah, Z, we have to use Z, and then the component is to use the um, um, go to Venus. It's going to use the Venus. Alright, it's this one. Okay. Go to Venus. So if I click this, it doesn't work. Cannot match any route. Uh, what? Let it slide over here. And I believe in you. Soaking red. I don't mind all the time. On and on. Pretty and white, pretty when you're faithful. So pretty in white, pretty when you're faithful. When you're faithful, wholesome and done. Will only just become so unfadable for you. Wow. Still loading. So we ordered a latte in brown cup. It seems like I'm so high right now. Okay, so was it Bush? Come down. And yeah, it seems like the latte in brown cup seems to have very high in caffeine. Maybe I'm so high. I'm so high right now. Hopefully, there's no sugar in it. There's like uh, uh, so just milk and maybe. Hopefully, it's just coffee. We requested it. It's not shouldn't have a lot of sugar. So hopefully, the the girl there didn't put a lot of sugar. Let it, let it slide over hill. I believe in you, so sure. I don't mind most of the time. So run, inflatable for you. Maybe because we have to import, or I don't know. Cannot activate an already activated outlet. Cannot activate an already activated outlet. What? Um, so how about we want to remove these things here like that because this activates the router. like that. Adam line over hill segment URL Venus. And I believe in you. So it's red. I don't mind most of the time. And said and done. So pretty in white, pretty when you're faithful. Ow. Nope. Each auxiliary route is an independent route which can have its own. But why isn't it not working here, bro? So let's so it has this syntax here. All right, so let's just try to copy this one. Outlets sidebar. Uh, okay, um, so for X, like that. We only just become inflatable for you. Is not assignable to string. It is thine over hill, and I believe in you. So red. I don't mind most of the time. Done, said and done. Only just become. Only just become unafraidable for you. So pretty in white. Pretty when you're faithful. So pretty in white. Pretty when you're faithful. When you're faithful. When you're faithful. Damn. Love and hate, get it wrong. She got me right back down to size. Sleep that day, let it fade. Who was there to take your place? Auxiliary routes. No one knows, never will. Mostly me and mostly you. Do you say, do you do? all comes down. I don't wanna come back down from this cloud. Said it all this time, find out what I needed. I don't wanna come back down from this clouds. I said it all this time. Dang it dong, dang do do do, dang it dong, dang it dong, dang do do do. Okay, so you can't. Okay, okay. So from what I understand on that example, this, and if you have like this, um, yeah. So if you want in the layout, for example, we have this. So we'll name this header. Then we'll name this navigation. Okay, and here, if we load this, it will always load to the default route or the primary route, right? But if, for example, in Venus, we want to use the outlet header, okay? So if we go to Earth and we go to Mercury, nope, Mercury is having issues now. Let's just Mercury, because we don't have Mercury. Okay, Mercury, put Mercury here, right? Mercury, Earth, no Earth, Earth, Mercury. But if we go to Venus, it will go to the Venus. Maybe because. So here, let's just try to remove the navigation here. Header. Venus. Yeah, name outlet should be header. Should just be the same. Outlet, sidebar, outlet, header. Earth, Venus. Cannot match any route. Let it slide over hill. And I believe in you. Red. I don't mind. Was it a time? No. Said and done. Love and hate get it wrong. She got me right back down to size. Slip the day, let it fade. Oh, was there to take your place? No one knows, never will. Mostly me and mostly you. Do you say, do you, and it's okay, I'm down, down, wow, 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 I wanna come back down from this clouds. Uh, Let it slide over here. All right, I give up.